Okay, the session is being recorded for training purposes. Good afternoon. Welcome to this session. My name is Romelia Osorio, and this is a Collaborate Training Level 1, Getting Started with Collaborate Ultra. Our learning objectives are, before I carry on, I would like you to participate. So instead of me talking all the time, I'm going to show you how you send me your feedback. By clicking in my avatar, you can see the feedback. It's a selection of expressions. So whether you are happy with the content and whether you are sad, so you can give me a feedback. So for me to know, because I cannot see your faces, and it's the only we can communicate, and let me know that everything is going good so far. Do you agree or disagree? Okay. Okay. So, okay, this is our learning objectives. I'm going to show you how to demonstrate to set up a collaboration. We're going to use two methods. We're going to use the external tool, LTI, and we're going to use the Collaborate plugin in Moodle. And also, I'm going to walk you through the various Collaborate features, such as recording a session, how to use chat functionalities, and more, such using the feedbacks expressions. Okay, this is our learning objective. The third objective is we're going to discuss the sharing options in Collaborate. I'm going to show you how to share audio and video, how to upload PowerPoint presentation and sharing with students. From the methods I talked you before, I want to emphasize more in using the external tools for two reasons, mainly. The first one is because it's the one we are promoting at the school right now, that is the external tool, and because of the advantages that it offers over the Collaborate plugin in Moodle. And the advantages that the external tool offers. External tool LTI. LTI stands for Learning Tool Interoperability. So, and the advantages are any update made by the vendor, that is the Blackboard, is reflected immediately in the tool using the external tool. And in the Moodle, the plugin in Moodle, it will take about 6 to 8 months to take effect once the vendor, that is Blackboard, make the announcement. Another advantage of using this external tool is that it allows download the recording session. The recording is in a MP4 format, and another advantage is it allows to anonymize the chat messages. So now I'm gonna go to Moodle to create our session, first using the external tool. The first thing you need to do is select the area. When do you want your activity, external tool activity, to be? I'm going to select this area. And second, you need to click in this coggle wheel, that is the settings. You will find here the settings, and turn editing on. In the area that you already selected, click Add an activity or resource. This is the old version of the Blackboard Collaborate. We are not using this option anymore. This is the Collaborate, is the square icon here, the Collaborate Ultra. This is the plugin adapted in Moodle. And the first one I'm going to show you is the external tool, LTI. This is this icon puzzle here. Just click and then click Add. So as you can see here, the external tool is going to be included in the Collaborate training adding a new external, el Collaborate Trainer level 1. So let's give it a name. Let's call it Collaborate External. Okay. Now we need to reconfigure the tool. From this drop menu, we're going to select Blackboard Collaborate Ultra LTI. And we don't need to do anything else, just save and return to course. We have created an activity in Moodle. Now, to launch the website, we need to click on this link. Okay, this is the website. As you can see, this is the URL address from the vendor, that is Blackboard Collaborate LTI. So you are now outside Moodle. You are creating your session in a website from the vendor, that is a Blackboard Collaborate. I'm going to show you how this interface works. Once you create your session will be displayed in this area. If this is the menu, you click the menu. You click here to see the sessions that you have created, and for the recordings, this is the place where the recordings, you can find the recordings, and it says the time, the date, and the duration of your recording. If you click in those dots here, you have more options. You can watch the recording directly from the website. If you do that, you will be able to see the chat. And if you can download also the recording. If you download the recording, it won't show the chat messages. You can also edit the name. You can change the name of your recording. You can delete it. You can copy the link and send it if you want to send it to your students. Or you can add caption source. Okay. Once this session is recorded, it will be showing in here. To create a session, you go to menu, select session, and we want to create a session. So let's call Collaborate External Demo. The link from join the session is already set in. Now, we need to go step by step to configure the whole session. This is the anonymous dial. For those students that they don't have internet connectivity or networks, you can copy the link. Copy this link. That is the dial number and the PIN. So they can join your session by phone by dialing this number and inserting the PIN. If from any reason you have a policy where it doesn't allow to students join by phone, you can disable the option by clicking in here. Enable session telephony, so you can disable this option and the telephone button will be gone. Nobody will be able to join by dialing the phone. Okay. Okay, you have here the guest access. By default, the guest access is enabled. The guest is somebody who is join your session from outside the school. It could be from another university. And the guest role by default is participant. Participant could be a student, has the lowest permission settings. So if you are inviting a guest as a participant, you should copy this link and send it by email. If your guest is a tutor fellow or an academic from another institution, another university, it's going to collaborate in your session with you, it's going to teach in your session, you should not give in the role as a presenter. Presenters, they can upload and share PowerPoint presentations, they can edit, they can stop sharing content, raise hand, lower hand, share audio and video. They have more privilege, more permission settings than the participants. Or you can, if your guest is going to be a moderator has a control over the content share. You can change the role here. Because it's unable, in the case you forget to give access to your guest, it is enabled already. Unlike the plugin in Moodle, you have to do it manually. Okay, event details. You can set the start time and the end time. If your session is going to last for an hour, it's starting at 1:08 and finish at 2:08. It's just 1 hour. But if you're not sure how long your session is going to last, you just enable this option. It's an open section, so you decide when your session finished, is completed. And also, you can have the option to repeat the session. You can repeat the session weekly, daily, or monthly. You can select any option, and you can repeat the session every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, even until 10 weeks, or on the Tuesday, any day of the week. And you can select the occurrences and on date. You can set the time for a month. At the end of the month, you can select how long do you want your session to be repeated. And this is the early entry. This is the time when participants can join the session before the start time. In the Moodle plugin, they only have one option, 15 minutes before the start time. Here you have more options. You have 30 minutes, 45 minutes, or even 60 minutes. So you have plenty of time to prepare. You prepare your material, upload your PowerPoint presentation. Do you have any? Okay, you can set the time here. Session settings. Recording. You need to enable this session if you want your session to be recorded. And for an anonymized messages, you need to enable by clicking in here. Moderator permission for showing profile pictures. If you enable these options, only the moderator will be able to show pictures. Okay. By default, participants can share audio, share video, post chat messages, draw on whiteboard and files. We recommend to disable the share video because of the bandwidth. If you have too many students and everybody is sharing video, you might have encountered a problem during your session because of the connectivity and the bandwidth. So if you want your participants be able to share audio, you enable this session, this option. And if you want your participants to be able to engage in the chat messages, asking questions, it's okay. You can leave a ticket, or if you want your participants work collaboratively, they can draw. You enable that they will be able to draw on a whiteboard and files. Okay. This is another important part. So if you don't enable this private chat all your participants will be chatting privately without you knowing. If you enable, participants can only chat privately with moderators, nobody else. And if you enable this option, moderators supervise all private chats. You will be able to see your everybody in the private chat, every message they are posting. Now, when you set up all your settings, you click Save. And your session has been created. Now, if you click, everybody will be joined the session, ready to join the session. So the interface from the Collaborate Extra tool is similar to the one is Moodle. Everything okay? Any questions so far? Everybody has any question? Okay. Okay, we carry on. Now I'm going to show you how to set up a session using the plugin in Moodle. Let's go to Moodle again. The same. You need to select the area when you want your section link to be. With the setting editing on, click and add an activity. The procedure is the same. But this time, you want to select Collaborate, this square icon here. Click Add, and we want to give it a name. Let's call it Collaborate Ultra. Okay. This is description. You can type in this area what is the session about, who's going to be the moderator, and just to give more information to the students when they are joining the session. If you want to display this description, you can click the box here. Okay, we are still in Moodle. The difference between this plugin and the external tool is that we set up the time and configure the session outside the Moodle. We did it in a website, in the vendor's website, Blackboard. But here we are still in Moodle. Okay, so now what time, the date, it will show the date when you want your session to be. It says the 7th of November 18. Now you change the time, 1:30 is okay, we can leave it like that. Now it says here, participants can join the session 15 minutes before it starts. The other option, the external tool, offers 4 more possibilities, from 15 minutes until 60 minutes, for you to get ready to start the session or the participants to join before the session starts. So if you can set here when you want your session to be, 30 minutes, 1 hour, 1 hour and 30 minutes, 2 hours, or duration of the course. So we recommend you just set it for 1 hour. Here, in the external tool, as you can see, the guest is enabled by default, and the role guest is participant. Here, you have to do it manually. You have to enable yourself. So it has the same, it has the presenter, participants, and moderator. If your participants are students, you just select participant, or is, as I said before, you have a colleague or an academic for another university that want to join your session and teach in your session, you just change the role as a presenter. Okay? It gives you more rights. share. They can share the PowerPoint presentation, they can share screen, they can share an application, they can share images. Now let's save and return to course. Okay, here is, you have created the Collaborate Ultra in Moodle. Let's click, and this link, join the session in green, will be available 15 minutes before the session. So participants can join by clicking in here. And if you have a guest, you just copy this link and send it by mail. Any questions so far? This is how you set a session using the external tool and using the plugin. No, Helen, this is two options. You whether use the external tool or the Collaborate Ultra. Okay, now I'm gonna go to the external tool to show how every feature of the interface work. Okay, so let me detach this panel. Yeah, I'm gonna show you this. Okay, we have three areas in the Collaborate interface. We have the menu here. Collaborate external demo is the name of your session. If you want to record the session, you just click here, start recording, and it shows session is being recorded. Okay. When you finish your session, as a good practice, we recommend that you stop recording. Yeah, and the recording has stopped. It's a show that you're not recording anymore your session. If you have any issues with the Collaborate, with the tool, you just report it in here. This is a tutorial. Tell me about Collaborate. So it explains an introduction to Collaborate, learn about private chat. So you can check on that on your own time if you want. And it's a Blackboard Collaborate help. You need some help. Privacy policy. And you can leave the session. Participants can leave the session by clicking in here. Okay, this is all for the menu. This is the media space. The media space, you have 4 icons at the bottom. Those are called the basics. You can raise your hand. As a good practice, we recommend is you detach the panel. You detach the attendee panel by dragging and drop it in the purple area. Yeah, so you can see your attendees, how many attendees you have, who is joining the session, who is leaving the session, and also the connectivity, whether they having problems with the connection or the connection is excellent. And also you can see whether your attendees want to ask a question by raising their hand. If they raise their hand, you can see it from here. Yeah, so you can go to the chat and check what is the question they want to ask. You have the right as a moderator to lower hand. You can lower their hands. You can enable and disable the video. I'm not gonna do it because I don't have video here, but just by clicking, you enable. Enable the video share. You can share the video. We recommend to keep the video turned off, disabled, because of the connectivity. And this is the share audio. This is the microphone. By clicking, you enable turning on the microphone, and clicking again, you turn it off. As a good practice, we recommend that the attendees or participants keep the microphone off and only turn it off when you're giving them the right to speak. Or use a chat, raise hand when they want to ask a question and use the chat to pop the question. And by clicking in your avatar, as I told you at the beginning, you have a feedback. This is a selection of emotions that so you can use to ensure that still your students are engaged. So could you give me feedback now? Thank you. Okay, so whether they are agree or disagree with any statement you present, you can leave the session by going through the menu or by clicking in here. Or whether you are away, you want to go away because you want to get a coffee, grab a coffee, it will show in your avatar, yeah, that you are away. And to let them, the student know that you are back, just click back and they will know. Other important thing from here is the settings. You go to my settings by clicking here, and as a good practice, it's recommended that you set your settings before the session starts. So you can set up your camera and microphone if they are working. You check my microphone is working great, and do the same with the video. Your session requires use the video. So check that the speaker volume is 100% so your participants can hear you clearly and the microphone has the maximum volume. And you can set up notifications. Notification is when somebody join the session, you will be able to see it. I recommend only use visual notifications. So if you detach the panel, if you keep the attendee panel from this side, you will be able to see who is joining and who is leaving the session. If someone posts a message, it's the same. It will reflect in the chat. It's better just to use visual notifications so you can see and respond accordingly. A closed caption available, and you can see visual notification from the closed caption. If someone raise their hand, it's the same. You just use visual notification just to avoid a noise background, or it can interrupt during your session. If you have an issue, you can report an issue by clicking in here. Okay, this is your settings. Okay, by clicking in this green box, you can see the connectivity. You can see if the connection is excellent or is poor. I already said that. And you can change the role from the participants. If you don't want, so you can just close and keep an eye on all attendees. If you don't want it, you just by clicking it, you just merge panel, and we'll go back to the screen. Okay, this area is the collaborate panel. This is the chat where everyone can use the chat, all attendees. You will be able to see every post for everyone. And if you have another moderator working in collaboration with you, only you and the other moderator can see this chat. You can chat privately with the other moderator. The attendee, so this is the attendees. You can detach it, I explained that. And sharing content. You can share whiteboard with students. you need to set up at the beginning if you want your students to participate and write on the whiteboard. So you can use text and type. Yeah, you can change color. Just type and change. You can change color. You can move by selecting. You can move around all the whiteboard. You can point anything. You can even write in your whiteboard. You can ask students to participate and write ideas. And even you can draw shapes. You can draw a rectangle. You can draw, yep, if you want to select or highlight something. And you can delete by clear everything from the whiteboard. So share application and screen. This is very important. This is really, really important because you have two options. If you have two screens, dual monitor, you use entire screen. Yeah? In one screen, I have here two, screen one, screen two. Screen one, in the screen one, you have open your collaborate session, and in the other screen, you have the application you want to share. In this case, I will share in screen one. So let's stop sharing here. And if you have one screen or you're working on the laptop, it's recommended that you open the application in one browser. It could be a Google Chrome, and the application you want to share open in a Firefox in another browser. Let me see if we can do that to show you how it works. Let me open. Okay, this is a Firefox, and I'm gonna go to yeah. So let's see if I can do that. Just share an application in the case you have just one screen. Just click the application you want to share. That is Firefox. It's another browser different from the one you are using. That is Chrome, Google Chrome. When you have your Collaborate Ultra session open, and click share. Yes. Now you are sharing your application because you have one screen only. Okay. Just to stop sharing, just click stop.
Sorry, there were some technical difficulties, so I think a screen got crashed. Maybe I'll quickly show you how to upload slides. I'll take over the presentation if you have time. We just have 15 more minutes. Okay. Okay, let me share the screen first. Okay, can everyone see what I'm doing now? Okay, cool. Okay, to share screens, that's what she was trying to say, and a screen crash, unfortunately. Apologies for that. Okay, you need to click this arrow icon, share content. You need to click on this and click on share files, all right? And I think she tried to load a bigger file. So what I'll do is I'll open a small file. So you need to click on the file if you already uploaded a file, or you can drag and drop or click add files, and then you could add a PowerPoint. I'm not going to do because maybe it might crash my system as well. Maybe you can choose the file you want to upload. If it's a PPT, you just choose and open. It will load here, and once you click on the PowerPoint, after you load it here, what you should do is you have to click on the PowerPoint, the file, and click on share now. So you can select the slide which you would like to share. Okay, so this is how you share your files. You could navigate between slides, click on the next slide and the previous slide. And also you could draw on your slides, like you could use it as a whiteboard. So this is quite powerful. You could draw shapes, you can erase it, you can even maximize. So sometimes you might be sharing a slide and your students will say, okay, the font is very small, I can't see it. You can use the zoom in feature there from the eye view controls. You could zoom in, you can zoom out, you can use the best fit. So this is, it will show everything in one screen. So always go for the best fit, or sometimes 1:1 ratio, that might work fine as well. You should see how your slides are designed and choose the best layout. So you could share PDF, PowerPoint, image files, and also you can drag and drop from your desktop. If it's an image, you can drag and drop. And once you drag and drop, it should be available here, so in the files. And make sure you select the file and then you share. All right, it's not, you have to see on the screen what you share. Otherwise, it's not shared with your students. Also, you could delete the files by clicking the garbage bin icon. You could delete your files. So that's about sharing files. And I can quickly show about, I think Romelia already covered about sharing application and screen. The only thing I would like to add is if you're using a laptop or a single monitor, you have to use just an application. The entire screen won't work if you're using a single monitor. So you have to understand this concept. So if you're using a single monitor or a laptop, please use just an application. And also make sure that the sharing screen, you open that in a new window, not in a new tab. If you open in a new window, then only you can display your sharing screen properly. Otherwise, you'll get the tunnel of death, like the infinite tunnel, they call it, like which you saw earlier while Romelia was demonstrating. So to avoid that issue, what we have to do is open it in a new window. Even if you're sharing two screens, you can open it in a different browser in an entirely new window to avoid that issue. All right. So if you're using dual screens, you could use entire screen and it shows screen 1 and screen 2. So if your main session runs on screen 1, and this is the screen where you are going to share it with your students, then you could select screen 2. So screen 2 will be shown on screen 1 within the Collaborate session. All right. So I'll quickly go through the polling, and the polling is quite useful, like to get a yes or no choices. You could use this. So you click on yes or no choices and you say start, and you could respond. Students could respond. You could have a polling like, can you hear audio and view my screen? And the participants can say yes or no. So if Ellen was having issues, like she could say like a polling thing. And in the attendees list, you could see what we have chosen, yes or no. So it's quite powerful, and I can lock the poll after some time, so they can no longer change the choices. So it's very good to get the opinion from the students if you're talking about a certain topic, whether they agree or not. And you can end polling like that. And again, click the share content, and you could have even choices, like you can have some choice of questions. You can ask a question and list some 5 choices. Like in the background, you could upload a slide with a question, and you could ask the students to pick an answer for the question. Like one student will pick 3, one student will pick 5. So you could quickly see what students have, whether they answered correctly or not. To maybe like you could use it like a knowledge check in the middle of the session to see whether they are understanding what you're trying to say, or to generally get an idea of their knowledge in that particular topic. You could use that. So the timer it's a new feature, like because we are using the LTI, so we got these new features. You could set the timer. And if you're giving, like having a breakout, if you're using breakout rooms and you have divided your groups into two groups and you're given an assignment to work on. So you could set a timer and you start. So the timer just shows there. So they'll know how much time is left to finish the brainstorming session. So this is really cool. So also as a tutor, you could see how much time is left. So that's a cool feature. You could stop, dismiss the timer by clicking that. And I'll quickly show breakout groups because this is the screen I'm sharing. I don't have much attendees here, so I'm the only one there. So by default, it's divided into two groups. You could add more groups. If you have more students, you could delete a group. And also I can move myself into a group. So let's say I can drag and drop into group one, or I can click on this and I can move to group two, and I can start my group. So why we use groups is like in a face-to-face training, you can divide your classroom into individual groups. They can sit on into groups. Like if there are 10 members, you could divide into two groups, and you can give a topic for them to discuss, and then everybody can come together and talk about that topic. In the same thing you could do in Collaborate. So you could divide them into groups, and you could automatically assign, or you could custom assign. So I'm just dragging myself and dropping into group two. And then you can start the breakout room, the breakout groups. So what will happen is all the students within that group only will be able to uh, collaborate, like sharing screens or whatever permissions you are given, and they can discuss, they can chat, everything only that group members can do. They can't, group two cannot chat with group one members. So it's very private group. And also, as a tutor, you should remember that if you're going to talk with your students in the groups, you should move yourself into that group to talk. If you're in the main room and you talk, they can't hear that. All right. So after you move them, you need to start the group. So it says that I'm in group two. So the group is started. So whatever I do here will be only be seen by members in group two. So I can move to group three, I can join group one, or I can go to the main room. So because I'm a moderator, I can do that. So I'm going to group one, so I'm joining group one. So if you as a tutor want to talk with different groups and see how they're doing, you can move between groups to check what they're doing. And I can end the breakout groups by clicking on this. And also if students want to switch groups, you could enable this by clicking this option. So that is possible to switch groups for participants in this collaborate roles. So that's about the sharing content, and I think Romelia pretty much covered all the rest. And one thing I would like to say is there was a confusion using the LTI versus the plugin version, which we've been using for some time now. Going forward, we have decided to use the LTI version. This is as much as you get to use the original version, the original web version developed by Collaborate. And whatever the advantage of using the LTI is, whatever changes they make, it's immediately available if you're using the LTI because you're directly connecting with the vendor. And unlike a plugin, the developers need to sit and try to develop for allowing it to be available in Moodle directly as a plugin. So that might take time. So it's going forward, it's better to use the LTI version because it has more features, anonymizing your chat messages, download recordings, and there's a host of new features which you can't find using the plugin version. And before you go, I'll give you a feedback link. I would really appreciate if you could give a feedback using this link. And so another thing I would like to say is about the download recordings. So after you record a session, the recordings will be available in this section within the recordings. And this is the place where a lot of people get confused. They go and see the recordings in the session, and the recordings are available in this menu. You may need to go there and to download the recordings. And also you need to be clear that if you anonymize a chat message in the recording, if you play within the Collaborate player, you could see the chat messages, but if you download your recording, you can't, because it will be downloaded as an MP4 and you can't see the chat messages. So you need to be clear about that. Okay. So any questions? So I think Romina is connected now, so she can take over from here.
Oh, really, I'm sorry because the crash I have encountered. I just want to say thank you for joining the session, and I hope you enjoy it and you learned something from us. Thank you very much.